You're listening to Mad Men Sports. To my left, we have Zach, myself, Jake, and Diamond Dave. Mad Men Sports is brought to you by Black Button Distilling. They have a tasting room downtown Buffalo at 149 Swan Street. It's a perfect place to try any brand new spirit, a handcrafted cocktail. Check it out. I mean, Zach, me and you go pretty regularly. I mean, we've been there, 2 weeks ago now?
Where's my invite?
You're always invited.
You're too busy hanging out with all your fans from the last podcast, man. Jeez, it's like a Dave fan club now. Diamond Dave, they love to hate him and they hate to love him.
We take them away one time.
I also hate to love him.
I love to love you.
You guys don't have a choice.
Yeah,
I have a choice. I'm not related to any of you.
I'm related to him, and believe me, wish I wasn't.
It's Bills week again.
So how about that trade deadline? Pretty uneventful.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. And McDermott said today that he didn't want to be irresponsible. And you want to know what? While I understand his point, you want to know what's pretty irresponsible, Jake?
What's that?
To let this team come off of a loss against a team that was very good. 4-4, whatever. You throw it out the window. The team that was better than them talent-wise. And then expect to string it all together still. That's irresponsible. You should at least made one move. I'm not a, hey, make a move guy, but you need one more playmaker for this offense.
Well, you don't want to overreact just because of a loss.
I definitely agree that we can use another playmaker, but I think with the not-so-deadline trades, I mean, Jalen Ramsey, for example, he kind of set the precedent and that market for trades that were just crazy. I mean, yeah, he's a fantastic player, a generational player, but how are you going to give 2 first-round draft picks and a fourth or a third?
Relax. We're not getting Jalen Ramsey.
And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the market's so crazy.
2 years ago, they were 5-2. Going into the trade deadline, they came out with Kelvin Benjamin. Now, who cares about what he came out with?
Again?
At the time, it was a great move. Everyone was excited. He won us that Colts game. Don't forget it. If Nathan Peterman doesn't make that halftime touchdown to him, that's a win. Listen, you could have made a play, got a playmaker, got a guy that was maybe there for 2 years. They only gave up a 3rd-round pick or a 5th-round pick for Kelvin Benjamin. Listen, that didn't pan out, but don't let what happened after the trade affect how we all felt when that trade happened. We were excited. We were like, whoa.
Yeah, but who would the Bills eye? I mean, it doesn't look like they were shopping A.J. Green, Dante Pettis.
Well, this is what I'll say about that.
Give a 5th round for Dante Pettis.
Jake, if you get an A.J. Green or if you get a Melvin Gordon, you're giving up a future first-round pick. And sure, it's going to be hopefully in the mid-20s. This team's still ways away from having the luxury of losing first-round picks right now.
Well, Melvin Gordon is currently the 5th highest running back in the NFL.
We have a running back. We don't use him.
Well, you mentioned Melvin Gordon, so that's why I'm bringing it up. He's the 5th highest running back. He held out for a certain time. He's going to want that big money, and it could demand a first-round
and that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
It's not worth the reward because you're giving up too much. I don't think we're in a position right now to be losing first-round picks. I don't think we need to lose first-round picks right now.
Listen, you probably could have made a move on, Tuesday?
Yeah.
You probably could have made a move on Tuesday and not given up a first-round pick. I'm not asking for an A.J. Green or a Melvin Gordon. I'm just asking for one more person to add another element to this offense. Now, I'm going to be able to move on. I'm going to be okay. I don't think this team is where they thought they were. I don't think this team's where we thought they were. Listen, you play against a good team, you get punched in the mouth. You take a step back, you evaluate. They probably evaluated. And that's okay. Because, I know what? You play out the rest of this year. You're never going to get an easier schedule than this schedule right now. Next year's schedule is already daunting just out of the way the schedule rotation works through. You just got to play the games in front of you at this point. Hopefully you can get to 10-6.
And Sean McDermott and company, I mean, there's kind of reason to be hopeful as well, Bills fans. I mean, Sean McDermott and company, they're great at building through the draft. I mean, I don't think I've seen many picks that we've muffed on. So
I think that's yet to be seen.
Zay Jones, boom.
Yeah, that wasn't Sean. Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, it's his first one. It's literally second day on the job.
Matt Milano.
Okay. Listen, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying, you want to say there's not many he muffed on. He muffed on Zay Jones. There's been others, I mean.
Well, every team muffs on draft picks, so
of course.
I'm not going to say
now, I'm not going to say
comparatively.
They might have muffed on Josh Allen.
I don't think that's something we'll know for another 5 years whether we're good at drafts or not.
Listen, I don't think he's bad at drafts. I think he's got Milano. I think he's got, Tremaine Edmonds. I mean, that was kind of a no-brainer. But there's guys that they have been good on it. I don't hate the idea of building through the draft. It's how you build franchises. Listen, we're not building a wild card team. We're trying to build a Super Bowl team. So whatever, keep your draft picks. It's like Frodo Baggins. Keep your secrets.
Keep your secrets.
Jake, you're
Keep
really
it secret, keep it safe.
You're really awake this week, huh?
Yeah, you know, I don't
We
know
lost
what the
Jake
hell
last-
was going on
We had to
last
end
week.
early because Jake had to go to bed.
Oh, yeah, no, I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning, got like 3 hours of sleep, went to the Bills game, did all of that, and came into the pod. I'm here. I may not be awake, but I'm here. And I still got the podcast.
So now we have another NFC East opponent here. The Redskins, our final one of the season. Or, whoa, never mind. We still have Thanksgiving. I'm so excited for that game.
Forgot about it.
So we have the Redskins. They fired their coach already this year. So there's some people always have it worse. They already fired Jay Gruden.
Bill Callahan has been to a Super Bowl, though, the Raiders.
Yeah, Bill Callahan. He was their offensive line coach. You expect to go into this game and especially after what happened last week, and let the offensive line come in here and try to run all over you with Adrian Peterson, which, come on, guys. Adrian Peterson's still playing. Frank Gore's still playing.
Yeah.
Those guys must be at the Fountain of Youth or something. I really appreciate that work.
I don't know how
More
his
importantly,
ankle hasn't
Frank
broken.
Gore. How the hell is that guy still playing? But whatever. We've seen it 3 weeks. So the Bills really have to guard themselves against the run defenses. Or they have to guard their run defense against the Redskins' rushing offense. It's a weapon. There's a lot of screens set up through that offense because of it. Dave, what's your take on the Adrian Peterson Redskins rushing game? They're not missing. They're not playing.
I think the only reason Adrian Peterson is still on that team is because Geis is out.
Yeah.
And another guy that drafted last year is Chris Thompson is injured. Even though he, I think, played a couple weeks ago, he's injured and looks like he's out for the year. So Peterson's playing right now because of default. I look at Peterson as a guy that looks like he's 38 years old. Gore's at a different level than him right now because Gore's being a little more productive. I think that Redskins is a team that's really hurting. I think Adrian Peterson is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think he's great. I've seen him when he was in Minnesota. That's how old I am. And I just think that Adrian Peterson's not that much of a threat to me right now. I'm not that worried about Adrian Peterson. And the Redskins have a very banged up line.
Yeah, AP has 97 rushing attempts this season.
That's a lot for a guy
That's
that
a
age.
lot.
Because
Jeez.
it's by default they have an injured running back core.
That's crazy.
That's rough.
That's crazy.
Maybe just take a moment of silence for
Yeah,
Adrian Peterson. Oh my God.
He's sub 400 yards, but listen, there's a lot to unbox there. He's still running. Listen, they trust him enough to give him the ball 97 times. Technically, 7 more catches on top of that. Jake, what's your take? I mean, we're watching a Hall of Famer in the flesh, obviously. But after seeing what happened last week, going into this game, what's your take on this?
I mean, yeah. Am I excited to see Adrian Peterson, a first ballot Hall of Famer, play? Yes. Am I excited to be going up against him at his stage of his career? Yes. I don't think that he's productive. It's too soon to call, but what I think is playing past his prime. Brett Favre, perfect example. I think Adrian Peterson could have hung up those cleats years ago, and his Hall of Fame status would have not changed. I think he's only hurting himself.
I think he's doing pretty much the same thing that Frank Gore's doing at this point. It's hard to run away from the game, pun intended. But he's also climbing up the rushing all-time depth chart, or the rankings. There.
Maybe touches. Jeez.
Well, yeah, no, for sure, but he's also, he's him and Frank Gore are, slowly. I mean, Frank Gore, by the end of the season, will be third all-time in rushing yards. That's pretty crazy. A guy, you always look at the 3 guys as like the untouchable 3: Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith, and Barry Sanders.
And now Frank Gore.
And Frank Gore is going to crack that top trio into the running back Rushmore.
He's already in the Rushmore.
He also did it playing for, I think, 4 or 5 different teams, which is crazy.
Who's on the Rushmore?
Huh?
Never mind. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Mount Rushmore's the president's.
Yeah, I know
No,
what
no.
it is, but how many? Is there 4?
There's 4.
All right, yeah, that's why I was fine.
Which we'll talk about on the next podcast.
No, we won't.
Yeah, because we are playing against the team capital here, and while Mount Rushmore isn't in Washington, D.C.
What state is it in?
Shut up. I think it's South Dakota. They are in the capital of the United States. So, I believe that we have breaking news.
Oh,
The Washington Nationals, also located in Washington, D.C., just won the World Series. So,
We saw a Nationals game.
luckily,
So
and
if you care, good for you.
hopefully, Washington got all of their winning and all their partying out of their system today. And come Sunday, they're like, we already got a championship. We don't care about this game.
The Capitals are good too.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they've had their fun. Well, let us get a quick win here. So, Trent Williams reported after the trade deadline.
I don't think he even passed his physical, but that
He
was
didn't.
contingent on him not putting on a football helmet because he didn't feel comfortable.
He decided to go the Antonio Brown route and use the helmet as an excuse. He said, "Screw it, I'm good."
No, he did.
Or it's the Bills' defensive line that scares him.
He did blame it on, the discomfort from the surgery. So, I understand it a little bit. And he doesn't want the main blanket of this whole thing is he doesn't want to play for the Redskins organization any further. I don't blame him. Dan Snyder's a terrible owner. Their coaching situation is a mess. Their quarterback situation, which we're about to get into, is a disaster.
Yeah.
But I will say, they at least have 4 different guys in that rotation. I mean, so their offensive line's bad. The running back's 39,000 years old. Their quarterback's up in the air. Obviously, it's going to look like it's Dwayne Haskins this week. I wouldn't want to waste a chance of injury to come back and play for this organization, especially with them being 1-7.
Yeah, it's real tough. And
But
go ahead, Dave.
look at that, Zach. Then look at the immaturity of Trent Williams. Then you look at Adrian Peterson, who's a veteran, seasoned veteran, who's been to playoffs, who has all-time records, who has respect around the league, and he's still playing for a 1-17.
Yeah, but he's playing for himself, and I mean that's just the
Well,
bottom line.
Who's to say? But still,
Exactly.
he's out there every time playing.
And I'll tell you-
So that's why you have to have respect for Adrian Peterson.
I don't respect Adrian Peterson for a litany of reasons, but the number one reason is the fact that he's only playing for himself at this point because he literally got ran out of New Orleans, a winning organization, an organization that was 2 plays away from the Super Bowl in back-to-back seasons between the Stephon Diggs catch and then the pass interference.
And the scandal.
And he literally begged to get out of there because he wasn't getting the ball. Now, I understand the whole competitive aspect of that, but just help your team when you're called upon and just be a team player. Adrian Peterson is far from a team player. If you think that he's not reveling in all of these injuries at the running back position, he's literally just doing it just for the stats, and that's fine.
What?
Whatever, you're on a 1-17. But don't try to put down Trent Williams who's trying to get to his next paycheck when Adrian Peterson's literally just playing for
I
the
hope you
stats.
would switch your opinion because of Adrian Peterson because
Please.
he's the 3rd running back right now. He went into the season as a 3rd running back. He could have easily retired because he knew this team wasn't going to be good. He's
He
still
knew
out
he
there,
wasn't
so
going to be the 3rd
It's not really a playing for yourself. He's trying to help a younger team right now. I think he's thankful for the fact that the Redskins took him on.
He's probably not. I don't. If I've learned anything about him, which I don't know him personally, but he probably doesn't give a shit about who's under him in that organization. He probably knew that Chris Thompson was the pass catcher. He knew that Geis was technically coming off an injury. Well, definitely coming off an injury and technically a running back again, or a rookie again. So he was going to take advantage of this team that was willing to pay him because they have a terrible owner as much as possible. And you know what? That's fine. More power to him. Play as long as you can. Whatever. But I wouldn't put down Trent Williams and pick up Adrian Peterson for that matter.
Well, then, as an Ohio State fan, as I am,
Whoa.
what do you think of Dwayne Haskins?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The 3 of us.
Well, I'll say this.
Why you laughing?
He's inheriting a team right now.
Oh,
He's inheriting a team right now that hasn't scored a touchdown in 10 quarters. That's
10
a little fun
quarters.
fact for you guys.
that's a good fact. I
Dave
appreciate you looking
Diamond
that up.
Dave's confirmed fact.
Diamonds.
Confirmed
He
diamonds.
he's inheriting a team that has 1 receiver, has a banged up tight end core, has a running back that apparently doesn't give a shit, and a banged up offensive line. Go take a Haskins against the Bills defense at home.
It sounds
That are
exactly
pi-
like
that-
Josh Allen last year.
That are pissed that are pissed off for losing last week and being harassed by the fans about it. Good luck, Haskins. Go out there and have fun. What do you think, Zach?
I think the quarterback room consists of Alex Smith, Case Keenum.
Colt McCoy, your boy.
Case Keenum.
Case.
And Colt McCoy, a Texas legend.
Stops there.
Yeah, just about. I think he's got a decent quarterback room with him. He's got a lot more, waiting time than most quarterbacks are a rookie. I mean, Daniel Jones has already been out there a handful more times than Dwayne Haskins is getting his chance at a full first start this week. But the 3 of us sat together. We watched all the way back to college. We were watching college film with Dwayne Haskins, and I'll tell you what.
Against my will.
after watching Dwayne Haskins in college, I came away with one thing. That Terry McLaurin's actually really good, and I don't think Dwayne Haskins is that great. Now,
Wow.
Now, to be fair, this is a connection that goes all the way back to college. They're both rookies. The Bills are going to have to keep an eye on it. But I don't think Dwayne Haskins is very mobile. We watched preseason games of him.
He looks out of shape.
Yeah, we watched preseason games of him being able to break away from the pocket when the pressure's on. But we've also watched real games when the pressure's on in his face, in the real NFL, not preseason, that he does this weird jump thing.
Which he did in college.
He did that in college too. He leaves both of his feet, and I don't know if it's not enough arm strength, but enough body strength. Obviously, he puts his whole body on it. He's a huge guy, and Dave loves the size on him. But
Nice.
he leaves his feet to throw the ball both with he makes mistakes. It's not a good throw. I think there's a lot of problems with Dwayne Haskins. I don't think he might have been a first-round pick, but obviously quarterbacks breed first-rounders.
He's not very mobile. He looks like me running to the fridge every morning. He has a hell of a long ball. Give him that. But who's going to catch his long ball? You got Terry McLaurin, wherever
he caught all of his long balls in college.
But Trey White's going to be covering him.
Lockdown.
Trey White's going to be up that ass all night. So I don't know I just don't see Haskins having a very good day. I see him being pulled into the second half.
He throws a lot of 50-50 balls, and it's not something you can really throw up to Trey White, a 50-50 ball.
A lob, too.
Yeah, he throws a lot. He throws with a lot of air under his ball. Now, in college, that worked because defenses usually suck, and offenses obviously have the advantage in that scenario. But to throw it up, leave all that time under it, Hyde, or higher and Poyd, if you're Dave. We're going back to that every week at this point.
Damn Beavis.
Dog blower.
Listen, if it's possible to be a ball hawk this week, because the ball has so much air under it. Now, we don't know because it's Haskins' first start. Maybe he's worked on it the last 6 weeks, whatever, since we last, seen him in real action. Obviously, he played Thursday. The Redskins are coming off an extended week. They played Thursday night the week before, and then they had 10 days off. Jake, what's your take on the whole Haskins thing besides he's got a lot of air under his balls?
Well, I guess I'll take it away from that. I just think that he's a very inexperienced quarterback. Ohio State isn't really known for breeding quarterbacks as well at the NFL level. I mean, you look
breed
at
a lot
Cardell
of college
Jones.
quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly. You look at Cardell Jones, who
JT Barrett
signed with the
Troy Smith.
XFL.
Troy Smith. He went to Baltimore and not literally died, but died off.
I don't know of any of these quarterbacks, probably for good reason. Obviously.
Cardell Jones is the face of the XFL right now.
Yeah, obviously. It's the fucking XFL. Cool.
Who was the last good quarterback to actually, good NFL quarterback to come out of Ohio State?
I'm waiting on that.
You guys want to take a second on that one? Dave?
I'm sure I'll have an answer by the end of the podcast.
Yeah, we'll think about that in the back of our mind.
I will.
Jake,
There
continue.
is none. I just think he's going to be overwhelmed by an elite Bills defense, looking for a redemption game because Carson Wentz kind of tore up that defense. Jordan Howard, Miles Sanders ran all over him. That's not happening this week, Bills fans. You're going to see lockdown secondary. You're going to see a kind of rejuvenated defensive line. Starla Tulele gets a sack. I'm calling that. Matt Milano's going to be
What do you got, Dave?
full game off of
I just
injury.
laugh at the Starla Tulele comment.
That's fair.
He hasn't earned my respect.
Yeah,
No, he definitely
he's
is
the
a
highest paid Bill. He's getting paid $10 million plus a year.
Yeah, that doesn't cut it, I'd say.
Yeah.
Jake, or Dave, you find anything on that Ohio State thing?
No.
Listen, I'm telling you, there was someone before JT Barrett that got a ton. Oh, Terrell Pryor. No, that's not it.
Yeah,
Why are we hung up on this? This is our problem.
Now I just need to know. Guys, go on, please.
I've never heard of any of these quarterbacks.
Greg Kenzel won a national championship. This has Troy Smith as the all-time. This is garbage.
Who?
Ohio State quarterbacks suck.
He doesn't
That's
have phone
confirmed.
insurance. I don't know why I threw that.
Yeah. So, to reiterate, I'm not worried. Comes from Ohio State.
Listen, let's talk on the other side of the ball for the Redskins a little bit. They have a bad defense.
They do have Josh Norman, though, who will be all over
John
Zach's
Brown?
boy, John Brown.
You know what? I'll wear that.
That's actually a matchup that I'm really looking forward to seeing.
I'll wear that shit.
I'm not like giddy about it.
He is my boy.
But it's going to be a good matchup to see.
You're my boy, John.
Josh Norman talks a lot of bullshit, causes a lot of penalties on the receiver because he gets underneath a lot of receiver skins. That's a fun matchup. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And
good Redskins.
Cole Beasley played against the Redskins twice a year for the past 3 years, so that'll be another good matchup.
Yeah, we thought that'd be a good matchup against the Eagles, against a bad passing defense. Listen, the weather can be whatever it wants. The quarterback can be whatever he wants, but I didn't think they exploited that matchup enough.
They have a guy named Sprinkles on their team.
I think it's just Sprinkle.
Even worse.
He's a single sprinkle.
Also, a quick thing with the game.
Kansas City has a Pringle.
The weather this week is supposed to be in the 30s. It's supposed to be a cold one.
And it's going to be pissed.
It's going to be one of those classic games where we're the old school game.
They're wearing their throwback jerseys.
Which I like more than the color rush.
Yeah, so it's gonna be cold. You guys are going, right? I'm not. It's gonna be cold. Hopefully Josh Allen can get his stride, but chucking the ball around a little bit.
So you're wearing a color rush?
No, I said I like the old school jerseys more than the color rush.
Oh, no, I get that. I think I saw a stat today. Excuse me for keep doing this. I think the Bills are 0-12 when they wear blue pants. I swear to God, I think I saw that stat on Twitter. Random thing. I don't know if it was someone's comment section.
You need to work at your job more.
Listen, I hit
chill.
I hit all of my goals. I'm done for the month. I got one more day.
We don't talk about work
back up again.
performance this year. Chill. We have people who listen.
So how banged up are the Bills, Zach?
I did it on my lunch break. Hopefully Levi Wallace is back. Obviously, towards the end of the game, he got a little banged up. He's limited in practice currently. Jake, you think Levi plays? I think he plays.
Yeah, I definitely think he plays.
I think he plays, but I don't think he needs to.
No, I mean, Kevin Johnson's also coming off of an injury.
I looked that stat up on my lunch break, guys.
It's all right.
Leave me alone.
He gets an hour. He's got a lot of time.
I get an hour of lunch.
You get a half
It's
an hour.
me at the Chinese restaurant.
We don't have predictions on here. Make sure we talk about predictions, guys.
Yeah, of course.
Don't worry.
It's a
We
pregame
got the ball
podcast.
right over there. So the Bills' regarding defense needs a bounce back game. Don't care what else we say. You can't over pursue this week because whether or not we think Haskins is a good running quarterback, he's a guy that he's a big guy. He's gonna be hard to tackle once he gets moving. It's like that whole Big Ben thing. He gets going downhill. How are you gonna stop a train that's off the rails?
Yeah, last week
We stop trains.
Don't talk about trains here.
On Sunday, I was talking about pass rush for the Bills. This is the week that I want to see it. I want to see Trent Murphy. I want to see Jerry Hughes. I want to see Shaq Goss. I want to see all the major players. Maybe even Starlet Toule. I want to see them all get in Haskins' place and just give him a nightmare. I want him to. I want to extend Halloween over to Haskins on Sunday. I want to see the Bills finally get a pass rush. I want the Bills to shut me up about the pass rush, and I want to start bickering about something else.
Does Jordan Phillips lead the team in sacks after this week, or does someone else step up and dominate? They have a terrible offensive line.
He does, because Jordan Phillips also gets a sack. Takes himself to 6.
Dave,
so apparently we have a Jordan Phillips sack and a Starlet Toule sack.
Dave, do you get pissed off when teenage kids
Get off
go
my lawn.
trick-or-treating?
I make sure I work
Guys,
every year.
what the fuck's
Well,
going on?
The Bills defense are going to get their treats.
Okay, if that was the way we needed to go about that one. The passing offense needs to step up this week for the Bills, 100%. I think John Brown needs to stay consistent, like I keep saying every week, and I'm going to say it until the stat's not right. Him and Michael Thomas are the only wide receivers that have 50 receiving yards in every game they've played in.
Aren't you excited for that matchup? That's going to be a good matchup. Norman versus Brown? That's going to be a
No,
fun
I think
matchup.
John Brown's better than every cornerback he plays against. I think he has.
That's Zach for every week, but no, I think Norman's the.
There's not been one.
Norman's the third best corner in the league.
There's not been
Brown
one corner
having-
that's been able to slow him down. He beat Gilmore frequently.
All right.
Frequently.
It's weird. It's all right. No, that's fine. We can't disagree with David.
The fans will not be happy. Where are you? By the way, never mind. Madman by the Numbers, guys. Presented by
Prima.
Jake hit us.
Pizza, pasta. It's on West Chippewa Street, West Chippewa and Pearl. Check out their daily lunch specials. They're open 6 days a week. Dave, gotta get that white pizza, buddy.
I've had it. It's very good.
I'm
Guys,
kidding.
You guys have to start talking about
Their
other
chicken
shit.
finger subs, their mozzarella sticks.
That really annoys Zach when you talk about white pizza.
I don't know why we keep talking about
It's-
white pizza, man.
Sorry,
There's so many other options.
I'm a bougie pizza eater. All right.
All right, Jake, hit us.
Madmen, by the numbers. First one here. got two old running backs.
Don't call them old. They won't like you.
Oh, yeah, but that's facts. Who gets more yards? I mean, Adrian Peterson with a banged-up running back room or Frank Gore splitting carries with TJ Yeldon if he's active and Devin Singletary?
Well, I'll tell you who gets more carries. That's going to be the guy with 97 so far this year. AP will get the most carries. I think Frank Gore gets the most yards. I think he gets 25 more yards than AP.
And that's safe to say.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah, you want to take that to the bank. I think that's pretty confident.
I think the Eagles shut down our rushing offense, and I think their rushing offense exposed our rushing defense. So I think it would be bold to say that AP doesn't run all over us.
Really?
Absolutely. Until the Bills show me otherwise, they are what they were last week. Dave?
Interesting.
I think that Frank Gore doubles whatever numbers Adrian Peterson gets for a couple reasons. I think the Bills actually do run this week. They've heard their I think the Bills have heard the criticism for not running, and I think they're realizing it's not working. So I do think, for a couple reasons, the Redskins are playing far behind all game. So I think the run game goes out the window for them, and I think the Bills are playing, winning a lot. So Frank Gore and Singletary will get the bulk of the runs. Yeldon might even be active. I think it's one of those games that Frank Gore maybe gets 100, maybe a little more.
Whoa.
And it's happened before, so it kind of happened.
Yes. My second, semi-Bills related here. Last year at Madman Sports, me and Zach came up with this little game we'd like to play. We like to call it stock market quarterbacks. It was kind of what we're feeling high on, what you're buying high, what you're selling low. We stopped playing that game because we thought, we knew what the answer was going to be. There it was kind of a stagnation. Baker was doing well.
I think we played it like 7 weeks ago.
No, I don't think we played it at all this
I
year.
think we did a preseason.
Did we?
Yeah, we talked about Lamar Jackson and all that.
Maybe we just ranked them.
Yeah.
But let's play stock market quarterbacks. Zach, let's talk about Baker Mayfield.
I am selling Baker Mayfield. Today he exploded on the media. Listen, we want to talk about a bad question, good question, whatever. That's just not how you conduct yourself in the media. Am I wrong by saying I'm selling on Baker Mayfield, a team that has 2 wins this year, I believe?
Yeah.
And then got smacked by the Patriots. Now that's a recurring theme for 2018 quarterbacks, is to have a problem against the Patriots. Baker Mayfield is no different than any of the others. In the beginning of the season, we might have thought so, but he's got a lot of weapons around him, and he hasn't been able to do much this year. I'm selling Baker Mayfield stock.
And before we go any further, I do want to preference as well that within this stock market that we have here, it's only with the 2018 class of quarterbacks as well.
Yes.
So we're only going to be
For as
mentioning
long as
Darnold
Josh
and
Allen is the starting quarterback of the Bills, or even on the Bills, we will be doing this game. Because he is what his
I
counterparts
love it.
are.
Dave.
Selling. I think Baker Mayfield is just not good. I expected him not to be good. I think he's been overrated. I think he's got all the tools. He's got no excuse not to be good, and he's just not. I think he's a hothead. I think Odell's a hot. I think that team's just one full of hotheads. I don't think I don't think Baker Mayfield's gonna be good as long as he's on the Browns.
Is he turning into another Johnny Manziel?
I think he's a little more talented than that. Johnny Manziel was an absolute catastrophe. I had to choose a different word there.
Listen, the bottom line is Baker Mayfield keeps falling back on the fact that I'm going to be me. I'm like, Baker's going to be Baker. Well, I'll tell you what. Baker being Baker isn't being good enough for the Browns.
We'll say his commercials with his girlfriend making him go get things at the stadium, that is funny.
I hate the whole, cutting the lawn.
All right, what's next? Who's next on the list?
Exactly.
All right, so who are you buying right now? Who are you seeing? Who's that blue chip stock who kind of just got on the NASDAQ?
Do you know who's got the best touchdown to interception ratio for the last 3 weeks?
Ooh.
It is Josh Allen. 6 touchdowns the last 3 weeks, 1 interception.
3 fumbles.
That's fine. I need him to be a quarterback. He doesn't always play quarterback, but I need him to play quarterback. So I'm going to say I'm buying on Josh Allen just because I had a conversation with Matt Perino today on Twitter. You can look it up, obviously. We don't know what the Bills are trying to do with Josh Allen currently. We saw in the first 4 weeks they let him sling it all over the place. And then the last 3 weeks, he's brought it back, reeled it back. He's playing way more conservative. He was the second least aggressive quarterback in the whole NFL last week in percentages. So I don't know what he is yet. So I'm going to buy that kind of, the penny stock of Josh Allen and really see if I can maneuver him a little bit. See if I can hold on to it because his team is 5-2. I believe it's tied, if not the best record out of the 2018 quarterbacks right now. So I'm going to buy on Josh Allen just because I think he's got a favorable schedule still. His stats aren't terrible. His winning percentage is pretty good. Josh Allen is probably the best so far right now out of being a quarterback. Dave?
You're not buying into Lamar Jackson?
Oh, yeah, that was my point I was about to make. Lamar Jackson, I like to make the reference
I'm not buying into him. I was just curious.
to
if you were.
Bitcoin. Super low. No one was talking about him. Had no coverage. Thought he was just going to be a running back. And then this skyrocket bubbles. He's playing very well. He's scoring touchdowns.
Simmered down ever since he stopped playing the Dolphins, huh?
Is that about to fall? Is his value about to go way down?
Well, to be fair, his stats are very inflated from having a huge game against the Dolphins, which more power to him. We might have not have known at the time how bad the Dolphins were. Jackson probably went to the best team out of the draft class, like organization front to back. I mean, we talked about John Harbaugh being a good coach. You know, the defense that he had last year, and then, you know, this year he's got a lot of players around him. That secondary is probably the best secondary in football in Baltimore. So there's a lot of things going on around him that are perfect. He's got a great running back, all the above. He probably went now. While Josh Allen's the only quarterback that came from a playoff team, I don't think. I mean, that, obviously we know how the Bills got to the playoffs. It was either us or the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think that Lamar Jackson's the best quarterback. He might be the best playmaker. Now, I rank Josh Allen very high on the playmaker scale, but I think when it comes to being a quarterback, I think Josh Allen is better than Lamar Jackson. Long term, now these are stocks, so long term I might see it completely escalate that way. And they're very close. They're very, very close. If I could buy two, those would be the two I'd buy.
I would say right now, on paper and watching film and stuff, Josh Allen's the best quarterback out of that draft class. I would say Lamar Jackson.
Now.
I would say Lamar Jackson's having a good year, but quarterbacks like him get halted quickly. Defensive coordinators stop them. Their game catches up with them because they get injured. Russell Wilson's a throwing quarterback.
They're not the same.
I think right now Josh Allen's the best quarterback right now. We'll see where we're at in 2 years, because Josh Allen has to settle down a little bit.
We'll still be playing.
He's kind of making the game bigger than him. He has to kind of chill out. We need receivers around him. Right now, I would say Josh Allen's winning that contest. Like Sam Darnold, I feel bad for the Jets. He's got nothing. He's digressed. I don't understand that.
Seeing ghosts.
Josh Rosen hasn't. He's not.
He hasn't gotten it. He's so bad. He hasn't even
I don't
got a
even think he's
chance.
gonna be in the league next year.
No, not at all.
So right now it's between Baker, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson, and I would say Josh Allen is winning.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless there's a quarterback I'm forgetting.
there is. In Pittsburgh, they have a quarterback.
Mason?
Yeah, Mason Rudolph's out of that draft class. And now he is a new addition to this
Yeah,
team.
but Roethlisberger,
But he hasn't done enough.
He's not playing until Roethlisberger. Like, this year is this year, but he's not going to play until Roethlisberger. He doesn't have a future right now. I don't think.
I would say he is the future in Pittsburgh. I just don't think that Pittsburgh should be happy with that. They played a really bad game against the Dolphins last week. Now, granted, the week before, so did the Bills. So
Yeah, I mean,
maybe the Dolphins are a little bit better than we all
Big,
thought.
Big Ben won 2 Super Bowl. He plays till he doesn't want to, so.
That's fair, but I don't think Ben only won one in Super Bowl, but it was 1 or 2.
But they won 2.
Arizona and Seattle, excuse me. But yeah, Eli didn't get a choice either, so it happens. So that was Mad Ben by the Number, presented by
Prima Pizza.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, man. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed that.
Guys, check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook.
What's your prediction and score?
Yeah,
We'll do it right now. Leave a comment in the comment section of YouTube to win this ball for the predictions.
What are you guys predicting?
Jake, what's your prediction?
Man, I don't know. I'm really not good at this. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I always say Bills are going to blow teams out.
You don't think the offense puts up points this week?
No, I'm done wishing for that. And this will be the week they do. But it'll be 17-10 Bills.
Well,
David?
I'm doing something I don't usually do.
Oh Jesus.
I'm going to say the Bills defense wakes up again from last week's debacle. I think the Bills come out and win this game 20-0. I think Dwayne Haskins has an awful game. I think he's going to wish he was back at Ohio State. I think the Bills' defensive line, which is Shaq Lawson, Jerry Hughes, and Trent Murphy, I think they're going to be breakout stars this game. They each get a sack each, maybe more. I think they're gonna rain terror upon Dwayne Haskins, and I think the Bills offense puts a couple touchdowns. I think the final score is gonna be 20-0.
Zach.
33-6. They have a really good field goal kicker. One that the Bills drafted, believe it or not, and Dustin Hopkins. So leave your comments in the YouTube section of the comment section.
Thanks,
guys. Like us, subscribe to us.
Facebook, Instagram.
Please subscribe.
Twitter.
We'll be new to TikTok. We're making a TikTok right now.
Tonight, TikTok, baby.
Don't you worry. I mean, if you're on TikTok, I am honestly not on TikTok until tonight, and I'm going to find out what that's all about. Join in with me. Find out what it's all about with me. It's a new social media, so we're going to find it out. Take care. Have a great night, guys.
And your
go
comments.
Bills.
Go Bills.